Oishiku naru. Delicious party is really getting delicious in this ending. Girl, this episode 42, Insanity. Hello everyone, it's Lel, and in this video we're going to talk about episode 42 from Delicious Party. Insanity arrived and everything is super intense. So we started this episode where the last one ended, and there are so many things to talk about Fennel or Godots, because he finally showcased why Fennel became Godots. He finally talked a little bit about it. The first thing is that Cinnamon and Fennel arrived together with Takumi or Black Pepper. And at that moment, Cinnamon was very angry and seems to be in distress. Mari seems to be more sad because of the betrayal of Fennel. And Fennel started explaining a little more. So first thing is that it seems that Fennel dressed himself as Cinnamon to frame the first stealing of the recipe bond on Cinnamon. And we could see Fennel's face in the background, like, yeah, I did it. I love that. And Cinnamon was expelled from Cook Kingdom, and that made him very sad. And the other thing is the betrayal that Fennel felt when he was gonna get the 2 delicious stones from Ginger, but Cooking decided to split it and give one to him and one to Mari, because he thought that 2 delicious stones in only one hand, that would be too much power for one person only. So he felt betrayed, he felt sad, and that is something that might help explain why he became Godots. I mean, I still need more, but that feeling of being left behind, that feeling of not being the chosen one, not being the favorite one of your master, since you were the first, since you were the one that was beside him all the time, that must hurt a lot, so I can understand it. And then we have a little bit of a fighting scene between Fennel, or actually Godots. Fennel doesn't want to be called Fennel anymore, it's Godots now. And we have that scene of him fighting against Cinnamon, against Mari, and Takumi is healing the girls. Takumi has this power, and Takumi told the girls that he was taught by his father to use that power. So he started using it. But he doesn't seem to be as effective as Cinnamon in the healing powers. I mean, that's obvious. He never really used it before, because he was trying to heal the girls, and it was kind of working, but it only worked when Cinnamon arrived and actually helped him heal the girls. But the fighting scene was interesting. We had some moments, and one of the things that was interesting about the fighting scene is that both Cinnamon and Mari were not trying to hurt Fennel. They were trying to defend themselves and stop Fennel. And Fennel, or Godots, was not trying to just, get away from them. He was actually trying to hurt them. And that's what made him win at the end. And even Securara was trying to stop Rosemary, but, Mari was smarter, and I love that. And then we have him creating a Gosori Ubauzo, a delicious field, once again, very sad. We did not need the delicious field today, but still, when the delicious field appeared and the fighting started and the 2 lost, they ended up healing the girls. Cinnamon and Black Pepper ended up healing the girls, and Cinnamon ended kind of like getting this sacrifice. He sacrificed himself to protect the girls, and they got healed, they were able to transform and fight. The fighting scene when the girls arrived in the fight was super cool. I really wanted to see more of that, and it was very sad that they had to put the stock footage, because, when it was out of, Spicy did not use stock footage, baby, it was so cool. She just used the shield, but it was done in such a cool way. I loved it. It was incredible. And Finale jumping, and then using Finale Bouquet, but the jump, so powerful, really, really nice. So the girls were able to defeat it, but they were not able to retrieve the recipe. They were not strong enough to retrieve the recipe, and so Godots ended up leaving with the recipe back to the Bundaru Gang hideout. At that moment, we have Securara attacking Rosemary. Girl, that attack was so cool. But Godats ended up leaving Securara behind because she was hurt. She also sacrificed herself to attack Rosemary, and she was not able to move. She was hurt because she electrocuted herself together with Mari, and she couldn't go with Godats. And so that was very interesting because that was like the second time Securara was betrayed. The second time that not the second time, but like she was left behind once again. And that feeling of not being perfect, not being able to fulfill her role, the role that she's supposed to, that weighs on her. And I love that. And we see Black Pepper going after Godats together with Yui and Mari. They all go, and, drama ensues. So there are interesting things to consider here. After that, we have the girls, Kokone, Ran, and Amane taking care of Cinnamon and also Securara. The Cinnamon scene was cute, with Kokone taking care of Cinnamon together with Pum Pum. It was nice. And then we had Securara's scene, which was more interesting. Two things to consider here. One of them is the one thing that I felt like lacked a little bit was because the one girl that had more connection to Securara was Yui. Yui, in the past few episodes, was trying to understand Securara, was trying to understand why she was doing what she was doing, how she felt and everything. And now, she was really not there because she was in the Bundaru Gang hideout. So there was no one that actually had a connection with Securara to talk to her. So who did this? Amane did it. And even though Amane didn't have this emotional connection, here comes number two, is the interesting aspect is Amane has also gone through redemption, forgiveness. And now it's time for Securara to find that forgiveness inside of her. So Amane talking to her at that moment was nice. And Amane did not really talk to her much. Securara was suffering because she was blaming herself for what happened to her. Because, I'm not perfect. So if I suffer, that is on me. Because that's what happened to her previously, before she became a Bundaru Gang member. She suffered because she was not perfect. And now, everything she suffers, she thinks it's because she is not perfect. And I like that, actually. It's a very interesting way of looking at failure. It's a very unhealthy way of looking at failure, but it's a very interesting way of explaining why someone becomes a villain. I really like it. And Amane being the one to talk to her at that moment and say, look, we're going to take care of you. You deserve to be taken care of, is interesting because Amane has gone through that as well. Even though Amane was not conscious when she was a villain. There's this difference which kind of undermines a little bit, but nonetheless, she's been through that and she was able to forgive herself. She was able to overcome what she did. And, it's very nice to see Securara outside of Securara, because she looks so amazing. Even though she was hurt, she looked so amazing with her hair down. Girl, that was gorgeous. And then we have the big moment of the episode, which is on the Bundaru Gang hideout. So we have some things to consider here. We have Black Pepper, very angry, very distressed, going after Godats. And when Yui tries to stop him, when Pure Precious tries to stop him, he cannot be stopped because he is so pissed off about everything. And here is one thing that I feel like Delicious hasn't given us, and it kind of downplayed that scene. Black Pepper is very angry because he knows that his father is someone who loved cooking them deeply. And when he was taken away from cooking them, when he was banished from cooking them, that was a very hard moment for Cinnamon. And we also learned that he told that to Takumi when he was training Takumi. In the last episode, remember when they were going to the cave to retrieve Mari's Delicious Stone? That was probably when it happened, but we haven't seen it. We just saw Takumi talking about it now. If we've seen that previously, it would have been way more powerful. It would have had another impact on us. Seeing Takumi in distress like that, we would have understood him even better. Because, we can understand Takumi. But I feel like the punchline would have been way stronger if we knew more about Cinnamon, if we've seen more about Cinnamon. And that's not what happened, unfortunately. But still, there was one thing I really loved, which was he ran away, Black Pepper ran away, and Yui was left behind. Yui was also in distress because of what happened. And when Mari arrived, Yui told them, I have never seen that look on Takumi's face. Because Takumi is someone that we've seen in the series a lot, and Takumi is someone who can control his emotions. And we've seen that throughout the season. Like, he never really showcases his emotions a lot, but now he was not being able to control them, so that must have been a very hard thing on him. So Black Pepper arrives and starts going against Godats. Godats actually tells him, look, if you want, you can fight for me. I will give you anything you want. He was trying to get Black Pepper to his side. That did not work out very well because, well, Takumi doesn't want that. He just wants revenge for his father. And then Yui and Mari appear. Black Pepper, while Mari fights against Godats, it's really nice watching Mari fighting. Girl, I'm so happy. I wish we had more, but still, what we had was already great. And Yui PreCure actually starts talking more about her philosophy and that she believes that Godats can change because Godats had friends in the past and Godats has eaten from the same kitchen as Mari and Cinnamon. So we can get through to Godats, or actually Fennel. So let's not do bad things here because we are gonna be able to get him back with talking, with our philosophy, with our love for food. And this is a very Yui thing to say and do. And so far, the series has given us moments in which this philosophy has been countered by other characters. We've had Narcissoru countering it, we had Securara countering it, we had Wakana countering it. But at the end of the day, Yui always found a way of contouring that. But now it's a little different. Mani and Godats, they end up being laid in the ground because they both, it's kind of like a draw in their match with their powers. And Black Pepper is ready to finish Godats, but Yui doesn't let him. That is because of her philosophy. And that is the downfall of the group. Because Godats was not beaten at all. He was just playing along. And he ends up wrecking Black Pepper. Girl, that was a little scary. And he was also ready to wreck everybody. But Kame, with her teleportation power, used the last bit of her powers to go back to Oishina Town. And she got Yui, Takumi, and Mari back with her. That made her exhaust her powers, so she's gonna have to rest a little bit. Godats was left alone, and Yui went back to Oishina Town after a failed attempt of bringing Godats back to reason. And that was not only Yui's failure. I mean, that was Yui's failure, but that ended up bringing demise to Takumi and to Kame, all because of Yui's philosophy, because it did not work. Yui will have to deal with the consequences of her actions next episode, because next episode Godats is finally completing the recipe bond and all food in the world is going to disappear. Girl, what is going to happen? It's gonna be really insane, and Yui will not be able to fight because Kame has no power. If Kame has no power, Yui cannot transform and become PreCure. Without PreCure, we know the girls are not gonna be able to win, especially against Godats, since Godats already stopped them 4. Imagine if Yui isn't there. It's gonna be crazy. And this was a great episode. I feel like Delicious Party is really good when there are lots of things going on at the same time. Every time there's a lot of things going on in Delicious Party, it really hits the mark for me. It's able to go to one group to another, one narrative to another very fast, and it always works very nicely. And I feel like the insanity is going to continue in the next few episodes because we are on to the last arc of Delicious Party right now. So last battle is incoming. We only have 3 more episodes to go, and I'm very curious to see how things are gonna end. Girl, it's just gonna be insane for sure. Anyways, this was my view on episode 42 from Delicious Party PreCure. Please leave yours in the comment box. Let's keep talking about it. Anyways, just want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for standing by Magical Cinnamon. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bye bye.